So just real quick, I realized that in the last video I did not say the stuff that I liked about the prologue in chapter 1, so I'm going to do that right now. So the things that I liked about it is that I liked how it sets up the story, and I like how it's progressing, I like how the characters are developing, but other than that I have like just one small concern, and that concern is that I will not be able to fit in everything that I want within the 4 chapters, because I don't want this to be like a really long thing, you know. I got the first chapters, I think, like a 12-minute read, maybe 15. But I mean, I just want this to be like a something just better, you know. But that's all I'll have to say about the other 2 things that I'm still critical about. I guess there's nothing much for me to go in depth on. It's just I don't like the way I word things sometimes. I think it's a little bit awkward phrasing, and I'm afraid that it's going to come off hard to understand. But other than that, maybe it's better than I think it is. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys something real quick. So these are just small notes that I gave myself. All of these, they're kind of just an area for me to brainstorm. So if I have a good idea and I don't want to forget it, then I'll just write it down. But that's all I wanted to show you guys. The next morning, Jeff was up before the sun had even risen. He stood over Liu's bed, watching him sleep. Liu, Jeff whispered. Liu, he whispered again. Huh? Liu said as he turned over and saw Jeff looming over him. Gah! What the hell, dude? It's barely even 5 in the morning. What do you want? Liu jumped back, almost hitting his head on the wall. It's nothing. It's just... What? You can't sleep? Liu interrupted in a tired, annoyed tone. No, it's not that. I figured we could talk about school and how to make friends. Jeff, Liu said. I get that it's important for you to not feel lonely and to have friends, but I'm my own person too, you know. Liu's words registered to Jeff, not as complete rejection, but as the improper time to try and be sociable with others. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't realize how early it was. I don't think I can go back to sleep, so I'm just gonna get ready for school, Jeff said. Do what you want, bro. Just please try to keep it down. Next time, don't hover over my bed. You really scared me, Liu said as he turned over and closed his eyes. Sorry, I didn't mean to, Jeff said meekly. It's whatever, man. Please just try to be more mindful of other space, Liu said with finality. As Jeff walked back to his side of the room, his mind started cycling through different plans and approaches. I'll start checking the time to see if it's appropriate to talk to Liu in the morning. After all, we all can be a bit grumpy when we wake up, can't we? He thought to himself. Jeff grabbed a white shirt, a black hoodie, some gray slacks, and classic white boxers as he went to go shower. But this wouldn't be any normal shower. Jeff decided to shower in the dark, or at the very least, shower in a dimly lit room. Mom did say I was starting a fresh page. Maybe I'll actually like showering in the dark. After all, without the noises of the outside world plaguing my mind, I could finally focus on how I'll make new friends. Jeff made his shower cold. However, this behavior wasn't odd for him. Jeff had always been fond of cold to slightly warm showers. He believed that the temperature of his showers would dictate how easily people felt his presence. So his old plan to avoid his bullies was to take extremely cold showers. After all, you can't get bullied if people can't notice your presence. But the plan this time wasn't to be unnoticeable. The plan was for Jeff to look unbothered, like he belonged to the neighborhood and at the school. After stepping out of the shower, Jeff dried himself and put on his clothes. He then stared at himself in the mirror, practicing a smile. Was it too wide? Too thin? Too flat? Too unnatural? No matter. Jeff knew that with time, smiling to attract people would be second nature. Oh, Jeffrey Whitmore, you've done it again, Jeff said happily to himself. As Jeff left the bathroom, he checked the time. 6:20. It was almost sunrise. As one last challenge for himself, Jeff decided to walk through the entire house without turning on the lights. It can't be that hard, he thought to himself. I'll start up from the room, go to the bathroom, then the guest room, and then I'll make my way down. It really shouldn't be that hard. Jeff stood around pacing around his room quietly for 2 minutes before finally deciding to start his self-imposed challenge. As Jeff stepped out of his room, he was now completely relying on his other senses, hearing, touch, and smell. Jeff slightly overestimated the ability of his senses, but even if they weren't as good as he thought they were, just like with his smile, being able to navigate the dark with no hesitation would be another skill to make him seem cool and likable to others. Jeff thought he had made the turn to go to the bathroom, but mistakenly he was heading towards the stairs. Now, this wouldn't have been an issue if Jeff knew that the stairs were in front of him, but he didn't. And so, with one foot in front of the other, Jeff confidently tripped and fell down the stairs. Jeff hit the cold hardwood, shoulder first, and with a loud bang, woke up the rest of his family. Lee was immediately awoken by the loud sound and was the first to rush to Jeff's aid. "Bro, are you okay?" he said worriedly. "Yeah, I'm fine. I thought I was walking back to the room, but I guess I made a wrong turn," Jeff replied, trying to maintain his new persona. Inwardly, Jeff felt as if it was a terrible start to the day. It was a massive blow to his ego. But as long as the incident stayed contained within the household, Jeff had no reason to feel ashamed. After all, he did just move in. He just isn't used to the layout just yet. "I'm such a klutz, huh?" "Well, that's one way to put it," Leo said with a smile, reaching out his hand to help his brother up. Elizabeth and John soon came to where Jeff was laying. "Son, are you alright?" his father asked. "Yeah, Dad. I'm fine. It's nothing, really," Jeff replied as he took Leo's hand and stood up, brushing himself off. "What can I do for you, honey?" his mother followed up. "You don't have to do anything for me, Mom. Thank you, though. I'm fine, really." "Well, if you say so," Elizabeth replied. "What time is it? I don't want to be late for the bus," Jeff said. It's 6:25. Jeff checked the paper on the fridge. The bus was bound for their stop in less than 20 minutes. "I'd stay a bit longer if I could, but Liu and I will miss the bus if you stay." "Be safe, you two," John said as Jeff laced up his shoes and headed for the door. "We will be, don't worry," Liu said as the brothers walked out the door. As the two walked, Liu couldn't help but feel slight unease. Was it because of the early morning scare with Jeff? Or just because everything in the surrounding area looked the same? Maybe it's the jitters with starting school, too. "Hey, bro?" Liu asked. "Yeah?" Jeff replied. It's nothing. Never mind," Liu said, trying to backtrack. Okay." Jeff sensed that Liu was going to interrogate him, so in order to keep Liu from thinking any more about Jeff's behavior, he tried out the skill he used on his mom the night before. "Liu, I'm sorry about this morning. I don't know why I did that. I guess I was feeling a bit nervous, and laying awake with the only other sound being the fan made me a bit uneasy. But I know that you won't always be there for me, and I'll have to get used to the eeriness eventually." Liu thought for a moment. Jeff really was growing up before his eyes. He may be his little brother, but he certainly isn't the same scared kid he used to be. "Don't sweat it, bro. I used to feel the same way, but I had to be the big brother to make you feel safe whenever we moved into a new home. So, I understand. But my earlier point does still stand. You need to be more mindful of others' boundaries. They won't be as understanding as I am." "Yeah, I get it," Jeff said. After some time of walking, Jeff and Liu finally arrived at the bus stop. With 5 minutes to spare, the two had made it just in time to be able to wait for the bus. "Oh, thank God the bus isn't here yet," Liu said. "Yeah, thank me indeed," Jeff thought to himself. After all, if he hadn't rushed them out of the house when he did, there wouldn't be any time to wait for the bus. "We're sitting together, right?" Liu asked. "Of course, bro. I don't want to sit with a total stranger. I don't think I'm ready for that just yet," Jeff replied. Admitting that he had some weaknesses would keep Liu from becoming more suspicious of him. This was Jeff's quiet way of manipulating those closest to him, so he could manipulate those he meets at school flawlessly. Or at least that's what he planned. Just then, 3 boys approached the 2 brothers, walking towards them in a horizontal line, puffing out their chests as if trying to intimidate them. Can we help you?" Jeff asked, seeing this as the perfect opportunity to try and charm new friends. "You two are new faces around here. What are your names, kid?" the boy in the middle asked. "I'm Jeff Whitmore, and this is my brother, Liu. I know we just met, but do you think we could be friends?" "'Cause we're new and all," Jeff asked warmly, smiling eerily at them. "Not if you're gonna smile at us like that, you frickin' weirdo," Randy muttered, just loud enough for Jeff to hear him. "Randy, stop screwing around with him. Have you forgotten why we walked up to these dorks in the first place?" the boy on the left whispered. "Huh? What's wrong with the way I smile?" Jeff asked meekly. It's creepy as hell, duh," the boy on the right exclaimed. "And we don't want to be friends with you or your stupid brother. We don't take too kindly to new faces around these parts, especially not creeps like you. You're dressed like a drug dealer," the boy called Randy asserted. "Just who exactly do you think you are?" Jeff asked, cold and bluntly. The boy on the left spoke up. "I'm Toby," the boy on the right added. "I'm Keith." "So, you're Randy," Liu said. "Tuh! Maybe your brother isn't as stupid as I thought he was, Jeff," Randy sneered. Liu sighed. He'd been through this at least 30 different times. "Jeff, I think they want our money," Liu whispered to Jeff. "Haha, correctamundo, twerp," Keith laughed. "Yeah, we usually make the new kids pay a fare to ride the bus, at least for the first week." "First week? So what? You're just gonna haze us until you've decided we had enough?" Liu asked. "But why?" Jeff followed up. We already told you, you're new, so we don't like you, Keith said. So what's it gonna be? You gonna pay up, or you gonna walk to school like a loser? Randy added mockingly. Even though Jeff had been through this type of bullying before, inside he was juggling how to react. How could this new plan not work? Why are these people so mean? How could they not like him or Liu if they don't even know them? It was angering, it was saddening, it was confusing. Jeff knew he shouldn't cry, no matter what hurt him, not only because it would look immature, but it would feel like a failure to him in starting on a new page. Deep down, he didn't want to manipulate anyone, he just wanted to be liked. There was a mixture of pain, anger, and sadness that was brewing inside of Jeff, but he bottled it up, just as he always has. Liu immediately noticed that Jeff started to glare at Randy and pulled him aside. It'll be okay, bro. We'll play this one time and then we'll ask Mom if she can drive us to school from now on, okay? Okay, Jeff replied dejectedly, quietly sighing. Just take it, Jeff said coldly as he handed the last $3 he had in his wallet. Haha, we love compliant customers, Randy said sarcastically. And you! Don't think we forgot about you. Hand it over, Keith snapped. Fine! Jeez, Liu said as he reluctantly gave the boys his last bit of cash. This is seriously all you two have? You weren't even worth our time. I actually feel bad about doing this. I've taken some cash from real homeless people before, but this is ridiculously pathetic. You can keep your worthless cash. You clearly need it. Randy laughed out loud as he threw the money in the air. The bus pulled up soon after, and the two brothers sat together as they originally planned. Despite the rough start to the day, Jeff and Liu got through the school day relatively stress-free. Jeff wasn't deeply discouraged from the incident in the morning, so he was still able to talk to a few kids during lunch. Luckily for him, they were all nice and shared similar interests. Liu urged Jeff to talk to them, without him by his side, just to push him out of his comfort zone some more. Liu couldn't have been more proud with the outcome. His little bro truly was turning over a new leaf. So while not a complete failure, Jeff knew he had to change up his approach to avoid getting bullied again. Though deeper inside Jeff's mind, the early morning trip down the stairs and the humiliation he and Liu went through at the bus stop, the rage was quietly brewing and bubbling up, just waiting for the right moment to explode. His pride has taken too much damage. When his mom asked how school was, he told her what happened, and Liu backed up his story. She agreed to drive them to school for the rest of the year, so even if Randy viewed Jeff's finances as pathetic, at least there was no chance of being humiliated again. He was conflicted between wanting to be liked for who he is and wanting absolute control over every aspect in his life. Jeff quietly wrestled with these thoughts late at night. Okay, so the main things that I'm going to be critiquing for Chapter 2, grammatical errors, phrasing, pacing, the characters, I think they're a bit cliche. That's intentional, but at the same time, it shouldn't be. I think if I have to say that it's intentionally cliche, then it's probably not a good representation of what these characters should be like. But the things that I will praise it for is the continuous development of Jeff's inevitable downfall. And so I think with Chapter 3, I'm going to want to try and have more events that just fuck him up. My intent is that Jeff is like, kind of like Greg Heffley, I guess that's kind of like a gross oversimplification, but that's kind of the direction I'm trying to go into. So, yeah, that's the video. If you guys have any suggestions, or just anything that could help me write this just a little bit better, then I'm open to anything. So yeah, if you guys liked, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing with your friends. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.